Hello and welcome to the Profitable PT. As always, I'm Will Humphreys here helping you increase your income, profits, and net worth. Today we're going to be talking about the three most important factors when considering a new employer. So especially if you're a new grad coming out of school, this is incredibly important to understand and learn because you're going to be developing a sense of what your future career looks like. So in your interview, the first thing that you want to look at is number 3. How your company educates. How well an employer educates is something that is vital to the success of that company and you in it. Oftentimes we think of education as like clinical development of skill set, whether that be like a residency program or whether a mentorship development program, and that is very important for sure, but most of the time we neglect the importance of leadership training. For most of you, you want to be leaders in your industry. You want to be clinical owners or be a director at one point. Even a specialist requires development in leadership. So does your employer have a leadership development program? That'd be incredibly useful for you to know, but more than just the leadership and the clinical skill set, something that gets often overlooked is how a company trains on policies and procedures. Even simple things like how to take time off in a company is part of how they educate. And that's a great overlap into number 2. Number 2, in considering a new employer, is how organized they are. Organization is something that shows up across the board. So how do you assess it in an interview as you're looking at hiring or being hired at a new employer? Well, you just ask questions about simple processes like, hey, what's the onboarding process look like? Or you can ask, how do your review systems work? If your employer can talk powerfully into those things from a place of clarity, you can get a real sense of how organized they are. And if they can't, then I can assure you, you're going to be having a whole bunch of headaches down the road if they're just guessing on the top of their head or giving you estimates of what we should be doing is this, but here's what we actually do. When you ask those questions, you're putting them on the spot and they're revealing to you how organized they are or not. But the number one thing that you should be looking at in any new company that's going to help you determine if this is the best fit is their culture. What is company culture? Well, there's various opinions on this. I can tell you for me, it's my greatest passion because culture is ultimately the impact that's left on the individuals in the company. And in my opinion, it's determined by 3 main categories. I'll be doing another video on that, so pay attention, look out for that video. But the first thing is communication. How a company communicates is vital to its culture. You know, the leader of the company isn't better than anyone else. The technician all the way to the CEO have equal value. There is a command line that exists to allow information to be communicated up and down. Think of communication as an inhale, as people on the front lines of patient care gather information and pass that all the way up to the CEO. Then decisions get made collaboratively, and then they get disseminated down through the rest of the team like an exhale of an organization. So how well a company is organized will determine how well it communicates. Secondly is purpose, vision, and values. Where are they going? What do they stand for? And what do they care about? You can ask these questions directly. What's your purpose, vision, and values? And if they don't have an answer, it doesn't mean they don't have them, but it does tell you how organized they are. So those 2 things plus the relationship factor gives you a real sense of the culture. How do you determine the relationships? By being on site and doing a working interview. This is where you go onto the clinic floor, you get to talk to the employees and ask them, what's it like to be a member of this team? You can then determine the culture. And I promise if you do 1, 2, and 3, you'll be able to determine this very important thing called alignment. All alignment means is how well are you fitted for where that company is and where you both want to go. And I promise you, if you can understand the alignment between you and your potential employer, making a decision won't be hard at all. Guys, if you like this video, please click like or subscribe. And remember, as always, for every subscription, we make a donation to feed my starving children. Until next time.